August 19th meeting of the Tilton Northfield Fire and EMS Fire Station Building Committee to order at 5:31. Those present: Kevin, Tim, Chief, Matt, Paul. Excused are Dennis and Lisa. Unexcused is Nate and Derek.
And we're at the Park Street Fire Station.
And we're at the Park Street Fire Station. It's funny, I sent that email out, and guess where I went tonight? Tilton Town Hall. So,
Did you say the date? It's Tuesday, August
19th. Let's start by reviewing the minutes of 8/5/25. I'll second it. I have an issue with the second sentence of review minutes. It says motion to accept the minutes of, I assume it means
Oh, it doesn't have the date.
our previous meeting,
And who made the
and it
motion?
doesn't have the people's names.
So we're gonna have to go back and do the list.
I'm pretty sure it was Dennis and Lisa, but I'm not positive. So 8/5, the previous meeting would have been 7/28. So these should be the minutes of 7/28/25, and Lauren, you'll have to find out who made the motions. The only other thing is our next meeting should be Park Street. That's the last line of the second page. Other than that, I think it's pretty on the mark. Any
What did you say about the? Well, I think at the time we didn't know it was the date.
We didn't know.
So that was accurate.
You're correct. So we can leave that, Lauren, I guess. Any further discussion? All those in favor of accepting the corrected minutes?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you, Lauren. Next thing is public. I see no public, so we'll jump in and we've actually had a couple meetings since a couple Teams meetings with Lorero since our last meeting. One of them was on 8/12, the other one was this very afternoon, 8/19. Now, if you guys want, I'll run through my notes because I take like 4 pages of notes, and you can.
From those meetings?
Yes. So they're including the chief and myself, and I'm trying to hit every one of them. So on the 8/12 meeting, the first item to come up was the roof over the apparatus bay, and it was discussion. There was discussion of a flat roof rather than a sloped roof. Sanborn Road, the roof line looked okay. We talked about removing the vestibule, which was room 116, which we had talked about in the chief. And there, we discussed adding awnings or coverings over the people doors, so the stuff's not coming off the roof and hitting. Brian asked whether there was any state funding. I guess it determines some of their design parameters. The chief stated no, it was only going to be local. In the EMS storage room, they're trying to determine whether we will supply the shelving or they will. The workbenches in the apparatus bay and the pool room would be supplied by us. We discussed speakers in the bathrooms to display audibly alarms. In other words, if one of the firemen were in the bathroom and the call came in, they would be able to hear it. And
So that's, you just have speakers everywhere.
And we discussed putting a strobe light in versus the speakers. Question about the storage area, whether we wanted double doors or single doors. Double doors giving us more access for moving stuff in and out. Brian mentioned the cost difference was nominal. He brought up, now all this stuff is kind of minutia, but it's stuff that Brian is trying to nail down because it's going to affect, for instance, the electric utilities, where, you know, where do they need outlets, how many, how big is the service, on and on. So in the wellness room, he asked about electricity and cable through the room. We told him that there would be power around the perimeter to plug the equipment in, and that there would be a high cable for a high-mounted television. Talked about the kitchen and the location of a microwave, whether it was going to be ventless or whether there was an overhead ventilation over the stove. Countertop in the laundry, the chief recommended laminate there. We did recommend stainless steel in other places, but there it's laminate, and he wanted to make sure there was plenty of under countertop storage for detergent, etc. Kitchen cabinets we discussed, residential grade, commercial grade, industrial grade, and after talking with the people in Londonderry and Chief's previous conversations in Bedford, I think you said, Salem, we decided that stainless steel countertops would be best because they'll be one and done. And industrial grade stainless steel kitchen cabinets. Crew office, the countertops in there will be plastic laminate, no stainless steel. Under counter cabinets are going to be like a built-in desk with one stack of files. The demo of Center Street was brought up. As it is, it's not included in any of the work that we're asking the railroad to do, but they are going to quote it. Colored concrete. There was discussion about coloring the concrete in the apparatus bay. It is hugely expensive. $30,000 additional cost just for adding color. So we're not going to do that. The painted lines for the back in the trucks up will be included in the quote for the concrete. So it'll be the railroad's responsibility. He asked if we wanted LEDs in the lines. He's done some stations where they've done underfloor LEDs to guide the trucks back. He said no. Discussed a water connection for filling the trucks in the apparatus bay, and told him that we would use cutoff hoses from the ceiling. We would just fill the tanks. We don't need like a hydrant on the wall with pressurized hoses. And there would be water reels for truck wash down. You know, the wall-mounted.
Garden hoses.
Right. And in the decon room at Sanborn, he said because we're discussing using a concrete block in all the walls, that room ended up being 8 to 10 inches inside smaller than what we had originally planned. So he was thinking we could make it, he could move those walls to keep that space equal. Eye wash, there's going to be an eye wash station in both Park Street and Sanborn Road.
We just haven't nailed down exactly where it's going to be. It's either going to be in the decon room or right in the apparatus bay.
Tower connections at both stations. So communication towers. So Park Street will go out to there, so it'll be underground, and phone and data will be fiber, and they're going to install additional empty conduits for future use. Sanborn Road, there was a question, are we going to use the tower that the police station uses? And that's still a question mark. The formal scope and proposal is they're going to provide it. We have yet to see any elevation drawings because what they wanted to do, and that, I'll come back to that. That was part of today's discussion.
Yeah, go back to
Sure.
the tower up at Sanborn Road.
Yep. Police tower.
It's around the back of the building, isn't it?
Yes. It's, oh yeah.
Over there.
Yep.
So is it cost effective to, probably it's gonna be what, very conduit from here to
Well-
there, or is that cheaper than putting it on a tower on a building?
See, they already have antennas up there, which we can use, and all their equipment goes into a computer room back here with all the radio equipment and
Yeah.
communications where the fiber is and stuff like that. I think probably the best way for us, we would install a base station, which would be what's in that box, in this room here, and then run fiber either directly from here into here, so it would go to our terminals that look like this and everything else. I'm figuring out which is the best way to do that, most efficient, cheapest way. I mean, the other way, we could do a quick, instead of running fiber, we could do a short microwave link from here to here. But we have to get the radio signals, which are going to be on, which is way cheaper than building another tower. Just the antenna is all we need.
Have you talked
Do I
with
have a motor slide?
I haven't talked to Chief Gilman yet, specifically on this, but on other items, we've been starting to get talking about it and see how it's going to work out.
How tall's the tower gonna be?
Does it have to be? It's got to get above the trees for the VHF to work, and I think that tower's 90 feet or 80 feet or something like that.
Under 100.
Yeah, it's tall enough. There are other ways of doing it too, but I'm thinking that's the cheapest way. If I can think of a better way, I'll let the committee know.
the next thing was they needed to talk with their civil engineer to hammer out these plans, which they've done. Structural engineering, they're going to provide an alternate quote for sheetrock rather than all internal concrete block. One of the things that I think we all have overlooked is when you look at Park Street, the apparatus bay, there are no posting
Columns.
columns support for a center beam. And Brian brought up, there's gonna be posts in the apparatus bay. And we're like, whoa, wait a sec, can't have that. So he was planning on wood trusses for the roof. And if we decide not to have columns, then it may affect the cost significantly in order to eliminate that load carrying beam.
None of you.
Morning, Plumbing Service.
When they make their proposal, they're gonna put a 2 to 8% inflation adder. They're not sure yet. Public outreach, so we're getting to the point where we're gonna wanna start talking to the public. And Lorero will assist, that's part of their contract. Tom Roy, who's the president, has said he'll come up whenever we need. I think within the next 2 meetings, we need to determine a schedule for public outreach. And Chief, we can open it for discussion, but I think it would be wise to have a Lorero rep at district meeting.
Okay.
Either Brian or Tom. Brian that man is unbelievable. He's not the architect, he's like the project manager, and he thinks of everything. I'm telling you, he thinks of everything. And that was it. So that was a week ago. This afternoon, we had a meeting where we looked at these, and we're going to discuss these tonight. But, so it was a regular crew, Brian, Joe. Brian is the project manager, Joe is the architect, the chief, myself, and their civil guy, Ellis Farmer. Okay, so Ellis is the one responsible for these. So what we're discussing initially was these plans. And basically, what it boiled down to is what do we want the look of the station to be? So there was a bunch of discussion about the concrete block on the front and these horizontal stripes, so to speak, to break it up. And also the gable end. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the back of it. Yeah, okay, the gable on the front also. Some of the siding on that is vertical, some of it's horizontal. They have different ways of breaking it up so it doesn't look like, the side of a cliff. You see the awning over that front entry door. They can either do posts to support that or 2 walls. That'll be our decision. Over above the apparatus bay, there were a couple different ideas with respect to the stripes there as well. We can make them wider, we can separate them, for instance.
They didn't really show that in the materials that they sent me, the other option.
We can move this
Like
one
usually I go
up
for
1 or
meet the
2
police personal
courses.
alert line, Sergeant Place, like Breeze Trailer Park.
They talked about
Like
moving
usually I
this
go for
one
meet the
up
police
1 or 2
personal alert line,
courses,
Sergeant
just
Place,
kind
like
of
Breeze
break it
Trailer
up a
Park.
little bit.
Or Lakeshore Road, Channel 3, 1750.
Personally,
What's the total width across the front?
it's in
Oh, wait a second. Over 100 feet, is it?
Laconia Companies, Laconia Hospital.
It's
Air mail plumber responding, lot 81.
176
Historic
feet,
mail channel 3.
100. I don't have my magnifying glass. It looks like 176 or 178. I can't tell. One of those. Can you tell?
I think it's 175.
Okay.
Feet, 7 inches.
Oh, no, it's close.
175.7.
Good for you.
I didn't even have to do this, which is surprising. So that's where the discussion is kind of turning now. It's less and less about materials and more about aesthetics. They talked about adding or making these windows inoperable right here. They're into the EMS storage room.
That's not EMS storage, that's regular storage in the office area.
Right. Those windows, yeah.
All the windows in the front are inoperable. That's what he told me, that's what he said today.
So this is storage?
Yes.
The only one we have one.
Believe
Well-
it or not, you have to have a window in there. There has to be daylight entry because we actually discussed eliminating those and putting an opening to the apparatus bay so the light from the apparatus bay could go into that storage room.
That storage room looks like it's got 3 windows, one around the corner.
Well, maybe this is the appropriate time to have a discussion about that storage room in particular. So, and I meant to bring this up with the commissioners the other night. That storage room is large enough to store the hand tub that we have stored at the auto mall. And have you seen it?
No?
I wondered where that was.
That's where it's behind a velvet rope in the Hyundai section, I guess. Maybe it's a Nissan, I don't know. I might have a picture of it. And they would like it. You know, they'll keep it as long as they need to, but they said they'd really like to use the space. And I measured this storage room, and I said, if it fits in the storage room, we make like double doors, we can roll it in, and then instead of having like windows like this, we could have like storefront windows and put lights in there and people could see it as they drive by. You know,
What is it now?
it's
Hand tub.
the old, it's
hand
rescue.
My grandfather had it, I'm pretty sure my
It was
grandfather was the one that had it redone.
They had it redone
So it's
at about,
a water tank?
Small,
pump.
Little pump with horse wheels on it.
You got like 8 people, 4 on each side, pumping up and down the pump line?
Yeah.
yes.
And I don't have a picture of
That's okay, I know what it is now, Chief. So,
It's
what
impressive.
you're suggesting is maybe putting it in there with storefront lighting on it?
Yes.
it. I think that'd be pretty impressive, honestly.
Lake Street,
Like you look at Franklin, Franklin's got their stuff out back in a small garage.
Museum.
Yeah,
Here it is.
that nobody sees it.
Well, Matt, I think your input is more important than any of ours because of your family's history with the fire department.
2 minutes, 1.
We used to put that on a trailer pulling the
When
parade.
they arrive to drive past your ambulance and to the front of the
So
building.
how physically big is it?
It's it's not quite 16 feet long. I didn't take exact measurements. I just counted the tiles on the floor and stuff like that. And it's about 6 feet wide or so.
So how are you gonna get it in the building?
Well, on the end, this thing right here, we make this like double doors, like 2 4-foot wide doors. They swing open this way. Roll it in. Now we can roll it out for parades, you know, maybe put, you know, instead of where it is now, it's,
It's just being stored.
I didn't
Yeah.
know it was there.
Neither did I. Yeah,
I wonder what happened to that.
so,
Didn't want to ask you if someone sold it.
it's an incredible shape. It really is.
I haven't seen it since 2007.
I went there 2 weeks ago to, you know, give a gander at it. that's when we started thinking about this. When we got the final floor plan design, and started. I bet.
Do you guys want to resolve this right now so that the chief can give guidance to them? Either we're going to do it or we're not.
If you're gonna have windows there, you might as well put something in there.
And I think that'd be very impressive.
I do too. I don't think I'd change these windows on the front, but the window on the side. And then I would also put a window through to the inside.
Into the inside, so people come
Where
in
you
the,
come
in the
in
hallway
lot, there
and
should
see
be
it.
windows there.
And see it, yeah.
A window or some sort of
Something,
window.
yeah.
But if you're gonna do it, make it right, make it look good. Gonna be another reason why people will just stop and be like, look at this old thing.
Interesting.
Do you think we need to vote on it, or do you just want to say go ahead and do it?
Why don't you take a vote on it so that we can all good one way or the other?
And the cost of some big windows that don't open doors. I don't know. I would go for it.
I see no reason not to do it. So there you go.
Kevin's agreeing, then, I mean, we all gotta agree at that point.
Remember that, yeah.
I could just,
It is neat when you drive by a fire station at night, they've got
See
something
something
lit
lit
up
up.
and there's something sitting in there.
okay. Aye. It's unanimous.
You need to get better pictures of it. Anyway, continue.
I don't know how much better I can get inside the building.
Are we back on my dissertation now, Chief?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The trim board on the windows. We're gonna make that the same as Tilton PD. The idea being those two buildings being side by side will look not identical by any means, but similar signage, similar fronts, and this one will be in that same vein, similar to Sanborn Road. If
What's the material?
Block. CMUs. The cement block. Except the gable ends, hardy board, what they have in here is vertical hardy board with a band. They put a band in it. The roof of the hose tower would be metal roof. And I think they said the roof over the canopy entering the front entrance would be metal as well. There are also options on the asphalt shingles. They're going to do an option all metal roof, but the other option is just ice belts on the eaves so we don't.
So if you look at this one, they show a metal roof on the tower and the front entrance, just to break it up.
The PD has, the Tilton PD has
They-
metal
yeah,
on the.
Yeah, the ice
first-
belts. Yeah, the first course.
How do they make
Yeah, I was looking
the
at
gable roof to a wall? What is that, green?
Yeah, it looks like a bad
Right
barrel.
So there's a ridge you're looking at the flat roof and how it goes to a ridge,
Yeah.
and that ridge goes to the other ridge,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah.
There's a valley on either side.
I see it on the other picture.
I'm not in love with that. I was thinking, just quickly seeing it, have the roof, the flat roof continue to the gabled roof. It would go like this, and then you would have vertical siding here, and that way you would only have a seam here, but it wouldn't be.
Is the gable roof shingle?
As of now, it is, yeah. There is an alternate for metal.
Either way, it's
There's I know, I realize
That's gotta
that.
change,
That's the
that,
problem.
that cannot stay like that.
I told him.
We don't have, we have the wrong weather for that.
Yeah, I told him.
Because that's
We
gonna
don't
lower
want,
the snow.
we really don't want any valleys.
It's gonna
At
lower
some
the
point,
snow.
we're gonna have leaks.
Okay, so,
And why is the apparatus bay roof flat?
Well,
We don't have a flat roof over here.
this would be because when they made it into a pitched roof, it just created many more valleys. And when I was discussing it with Captain Ames and Deputy Galvani, they suggested, well, we just put it's a sloped membrane roof. They said that will work better, and it will be able to control the water runoff to where we want it to go better. So that's what we decided. It doesn't look bad.
do you have concerns about that?
I'm not a flat. It's gonna load. I mean, we designed to carry load, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
They have to.
But it's gonna load, and then depending what your wind situation is, it may load all of this.
So the wind's generally coming from this direction, unless we're having a northeaster, then it's coming from this direction.
This here is, I'm surprised they actually put this out. That just makes no sense.
I've had a couple of discussions with them about it already.
Well, we-
Plus, like when you look at the middle school, you see all those valleys at the middle school, and I don't know how they manage the water up there. And whether how bad the leakage problems have been in 50 years, but it's the same
They
concept.
did replace that roof in trusses. They had some metal trusses that were bone.
I know that in the gymnasium, but if you look at the building, it's a gable roof down one wing and down the other, and in the middle section's another gable. And
They have the valleys.
the whole two sections flow into the middle, and I don't know how it's drained off, but you just look at it and go, that looks like a bad idea. It's like three metal buildings sit next to each other, and the roof's relative.
Right. Well, the drainage will come up again.
Yeah.
You're exactly the opposite. Paul goes like this, and I go like this.
Where is that?
So that's what the Sanborn Road Station would look like. This one says it doesn't really fit that
Oh, I see. I mean,
Sure, they solved the roof problem, don't
If you make this the ridge, now you're shedding
Yeah,
right
don't
in front, so
they?
you saw one.
And
And that, now we're dumping two ridges into this valley. Is that?
way. Yeah, that was the original thing. I said, that can't happen.
Yeah, we've already decided, I think, that we're gonna have some to redesign that. Okay, the next thing is we talked about wider color bands above the apparatus phase. Again, just to kind of break it up. No,
is that just one row of block that's a different color?
Yeah.
it
Or two rows. It could be one row or two rows.
And there's a top board right at the top of the wall where the flat roof is. Change that and have that big block right up to the top.
Or is that some sort of metal that comes
Yeah,
over?
flat,
Yeah.
right. And then also no trim on the tower. Put at the top of the tower, put another row up there, or a banding of the color. We talked about the front, either the entry canopies being posts or walls supporting them. Do you guys have a preference?
How big is it? How far does it stand off the building?
Only about 4 feet. You can look, if you look at this, you can see.
Why can't it be self-supporting?
Can't believe it?
Only 4 feet?
I think that, we have
It's not on the.
it's not on the floor
Why
plan.
would you do walls instead of just 2 posts?
Just to make it,
You're not trying to make an airlock, are you?
No, the airlock's inside. the
Inside
building.
of it.
Yeah.
no, just to prevent, as a barricade for wind and snow and rain when people are opening the door.
Is it
And-
going, the door will open out, I assume?
Yes.
And they weren't expressing any opinion, they just wanted to know what do we want.
And like Kevin said, if it's only 4 feet, why does it actually need to be supported? And I'm no builder by any means, but
Well, it doesn't have to be as long as we tell them now, you know, if,
Yeah, well, they have to make the, if it's gonna be cantilevered, they have to have an internal structure to support the cantilever. Because, you know, if you have it 4 feet out, that beam's gotta go 8 feet in.
But, I mean, it's not gonna carry spot for load.
Snow.
it's only weight.
The weight of itself plus plus any snow, wet snow.
What's it gonna hold? It's not gonna hold any snow. Gonna hold it right on,
Heavy wet snow will stick to it.
right? Is it metal?
It could be metal, yeah. I think they said they wanted it to be metal. Yeah. But it's not heated either out there, so.
Face scratch,
Yes.
I was looking around to see where I was.
It's on the north side and the east side. I guess I don't have a preference. I'd pick post. If it was
and the post would look better than walls, I mean, definitely.
But if the door's gonna open out and you're at all concerned about wind, open that door and stretching it. That'd be the only argument for the wall. But, you know, where's our wind blowing?
Mostly
This way, right?
Yeah, so I think I'd go with post myself.
If it's not gonna be self-supporting, posts.
Okay. Okay. So they brought up the aesthetics of the front garage doors, and this is something that Deputy Chief Robinson was very complimentary about in Londonderry, and that's having an arched opening. The door will not change. It's just going to be aesthetically, there'll be an arch instead of the square cut off for the top of the opening. What do we want? Because of cost.
Cost, yeah.
It has no function whatsoever. You put
It's
that
aesthetics.
door behind an arch opening.
Right. It's aesthetics only.
Is there an opinion somewhere that this building's gonna be ugly? I don't see it.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people might think it'll be ugly, some people think it'll be gorgeous.
I don't see it.
Okay, so that
Yeah, it's square.
is square. It kind of seems like we're getting into the windows here, but it's all stuff that they need to plan
It's
for.
relevant.
Right. So now let's talk about the tower, the hose tower. So they are not providing the lifting mechanism for the hoses, we are, but we have to tell them, is it the type of mechanism that is stationary, you lift the hose up and drape the hose over it? Or is it a carriage that the hose connects to at ground level and then you winch everything up? I have no idea.
Do we have a hose rack?
Hose dryer? No. Yeah, we hang it over the railings and
Why
everything.
don't we have a hose dryer?
Because it doesn't really fit that. A hose dryer doesn't fit really much hose. And it'd be expensive. It's just, it's usually a cabinet about this wide, about, a man's 6 feet tall, and you can put about 8 rolls of hose in it. And you have to be loosely wrapped. You can't roll it tight. You have to make sure it's loose. So
Isn't there some kind of high pressure, air-driven?
it does blow air. It blows air through it, but it's not like a hurricane.
There's a machine that mostly air-driven that this hose passes. It dries it with air pressure.
And this is-
So, Paul, you're saying is we have to tell them what type of hose hanging system we're gonna, because we don't have one that we're gonna put in there.
all the ones that I've used in my previous employment, there were bars up there with block and tackles up there, and with ropes with a hook, and you tied it off at the bottom. You took the hook at the 50-foot, at the 25-foot mark on the hose, wrapped it around, and just up to the top. Done. It's hanging. When I called Lexington, one of my other employees, they built a new station with the hose tower. They do have a machine, it's a winch, that brings the whole thing down. You drape the hose over, all the hoses you want over these bars, and then you push the button and they all go up at once.
Yeah, I would not.
I think that's
I
a
would not
problem
wanna
because
see-
if that breaks, you can't do anything.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to see a manual. I'm not a hose tower guy at all. I don't. I just soon take that and chop it right off and be good with it. But if you're gonna have a hose tower, it should be some kind of mechanical means so that when I'm hoisting it up, I don't lose it and knock him out. Because that's free fall.
Yes, it does.
That's-
If you do it that way, yeah. So what I told them, I don't know if you were on the line, I said, I'll research it and get back to you.
Because they need to know what they need to have for blocking up there, to know what for the electric, if they're running
There's
it.
gonna be a beam with a winch on it and things like that.
See, it's been years since I've been in Franklin's, but Franklin's had a chain, one person went to the top of it, pulled it up, took the hose off the 2 little levers or whatever, hung them on the little hooks, which were basically like the chain thing. Hang it, run the chain back down, pull 2 more back up, or you do 4.
So they're hung away from whatever lifts it.
Right.
Yeah,
They go this side.
so if you
This
go to the
side.
hose tower, you pull it off the thing and put on the hook, the peg, or whatever you call it.
That's one of those things where if you're gonna have it, you know, be something that, I mean, if you climb it, you're on your climb, it falls. But I know about it. And I just soon have it, I don't wanna say electric, but electric winch or some kind, so that it is doing the work, we're not. You lose it too.
Or even maybe like a chain fall device.
No, no.
Just lock it in on the wall or something. I'd have to, like I said, I'm gonna research
It's
it.
over a door opener.
Yeah.
Hang it on the door, put the door up inside.
I got a sawzall, we can make that work.
Okay, the next thing that came up was training doors, windows on this host tower. And right now, there's stairs up to the mezzanine level, and then there's 2 flights of stairs up from there to the top. And they were saying these windows are not going to be glass, they're going to be metal panels or metal covered panels, but they'll be able to be removed for training.
Swing open on hinges.
Such that both inside and outside training can be performed. Now, the question is how many do we want and where do we want them? So they mentioned that if we put one at the mezzanine level, it would be about 10 feet off the floor or so. And then the second platform could be at 28 feet.
How tall is the roof?
36, 37 feet tall.
You can walk under the hoses?
Yes.
So are these windows going to, well, at 10 feet, is that sticking out
I'm
the side
sorry.
of the building or in the building?
13 feet, my mistake. The mezzanine will be about 10 feet up, the window will be 3 feet above.
That's gonna be heated space.
Yes.
How does these windows affect the efficiency of that space?
Well, that's one of the things that they had to come up with a solution to make sure that it stayed efficient, made its heat efficiency.
So, relative, I think the question is, how many and where?
One, I said one on the outside.
My answer is, it's irrelevant to us, we're not gonna use them. The guy who's in charge of who's gonna use that should make a recommendation unless someone's got a really good idea to not take that recommendation, not take it.
I put, that would be to the, if you're looking at the front of the building, it'd be to the right side, not facing the street, it'd be on the side.
Facing this way.
Yes.
And it would be,
And
just
It
one
would
of
be
them?
up one, and it would be off the ground, 13 feet,
Is
or
there-
whatever the intermediate level would be.
is there a reason not to have that one and one above?
We do the same thing out of both. It would be either, rescuing people, self-rescuing, bailout drills, kind of like what we have here.
So rescuing somebody out of a window, it doesn't matter if you're 13 feet off the ground or 20 feet off the ground?
It's the technique of getting them out the window onto the ladder safely and then descending the ladder, whether you're descending 20 feet or 13 feet. Why don't we put it back on?
And then is there gonna be a door or anything that goes from that out on the roof? Nothing?
There'll have to be roof access somewhere because I assume there's going to be HVAC stuff up there, maybe.
That's under, but we still have to call.
But there's,
That would be a good place.
Because if there's a stairwell in the hose tower, why couldn't you make it so there's a access door to that flat roof?
Has that been discussed at all?
No, there's an access way to the mezzanine, but it seems to me that the stairs go like this, and that there's no stairs on the inside of the hose tower.
Can they rework the stairs so that it could? He's right.
Like I say, in the meeting today, I said I wanted to see their 3D drawings of the hose tower so I could give them some guidance on it, and they didn't have that done. Well, they had kind of it done, but it wasn't.
Because you're going to need service, maintenance people on up there,
if there's,
annual basis or 6 months to service that.
Matt, you brought up a good idea, and if you look at this layout, it could be either on the side or the rear of the house.
Yeah, even the rear would work.
So depending on how the stairs come
Right.
out.
45 East Home 4,
Again,
Trail,
understand.
one of service station.
And there should be roof access.
has
to be.
Cover that thing.
Yeah, there has to be. Okay. Anything else with respect to, well, we're gonna shift gears.
So, before we go,
Yep,
countertop,
yep,
classic line,
yep.
bad.
Well, wait a second.
220 original 50.
The only place we were gonna use plastic laminate was on the crew office desks. That was the
In the
only,
laundry.
In the folding counter.
in the laundry, yeah.
Solid surface, most common brand is chlorine. If anything goes wrong, you can fix it. We work with that stuff with regular hand. Once they're put together, they're actually, what was the thought behind stainless steel?
In the kitchen, it's easily cleaned, it's never gonna break, and it's very industrial. And if we want this stuff to last, 50 to 75 years, it will. Whereas if we go with, certainly if we go with a residential grade, even a commercial grade cabinet, it's not gonna last that long. We have in the Center Street station with plywood cabinets that are, I don't know how old they are, but they're not the originals. They're,
I guess I would agree with Tony on this because in our building on the first floor, all the bathrooms have a manufactured solid surface type product. I don't know if it is. But upstairs they did laminate. The building's 13 years old and the laminate's falling apart. Because, it's a commercial building and it gets cleaned multiple times a day and moisture gets in the cracks and it starts falling apart.
we can change that.
It's definitely a better product, and cost-wise, it's not. That's not gonna be a project right there.
Okay. I'm fine with it. Is that it?
This view right here, or this one,
Yeah.
what's this? Is it a courtyard? What-
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It's on here.
It's to allow lighting on the rooms that are on the inside of the building.
This is the floor plan that we've been using.
And this is that space?
Yes. And the reason is because they could split and put two ridges rather than one gigantic roof.
There are no roof areas in this building at all, right?
There's no what?
Correct.
No roof areas, no skylights.
No.
Okay, can I shift gears? We're gonna shift back, but I'm shifting gears because Ellis chimed in. So if we look at Park Street, which is the big one, Ellis redid the parking up front. We ended up with 7 spots, one of them being handicap. The driveway entrance, he widened to 24 feet. And then we have 12 more parking spaces on the front and the end of the building, plus employee parking down bottom.
Is this what you're saying down below?
Yes. Yep, that's employee parking, this is staff and guests. And this is public.
you're saying the employee parking is,
It's all around here.
yeah, okay.
And right under the palm, on down, right here.
No, well, it could be, but it probably won't be. You got 12 spaces in here, we could probably make that work. For now.
So what is this marked out area?
I
Oh,
assume that,
that's pervious parking, for any employees that can't park up here, and like if we have functions, meetings where, say you have, like a commissioners meeting and we have like more than 5 people show up, that's where they have to park.
Is there room in this building for commissioners to meet?
From where? For what?
And is there room in the Park Street building for the commissioners to meet?
Yeah, a big training room.
Yes. In the training room.
This right here.
Okay. What did you call that?
Training room.
Okay, all right.
so,
That's
That's
a
a
little-
landing, and I'm like,
And that's a little smaller than the Tilton PD training. To give you a sense of it.
so that brings up another point, which is the drainage. If we have pavement up here, you have the runoff from that in the building, and that is going to a retention pond.
This,
is that?
Triangle. See the triangle by the road?
If,
What's the blue line?
That's the wetlands line.
is at the edge of it?
Yeah.
so the parking down bottom, this parking is gonna be pervious concrete, which means the water will filter through. It's not gonna go into the retention pond, it's gonna dissipate there. The drawback to that is it has to be maintained, it has to be swept, it has to be cleaned or else it'll come out. If we make that impervious surface, the retention pond is no longer big enough. So the fear is that there's insufficient space to put a larger pond unless we put pervious concrete there. So what I'm asking for is your thoughts on that.
So is this more expensive to install?
Yes.
It's more expensive to install, it's more expensive to maintain.
When I talked to,
I don't even
Joe
know.
called me after the meeting because when they sent me all this, they sent it in a Dropbox that I couldn't access. So I was talking to Joe, and I says, you have to look at every avenue possible of increasing that detention pond so that you don't have to maintain the surface, like sweeping, vacuuming, and all that kind of stuff.
I don't even know where there is one in New Hampshire.
Yeah, the Marine Patrol building in Guilford.
In Guilford?
Yep.
The bottom line is that Ellis said it had to be swept and vacuumed twice a year. To me, that's a deal breaker right there. So, what I wanted to do was get you guys' opinion on it and whether we should even investigate it or just tell them we've got to get a bigger retention pond.
Even though we all know that all the water can end up in the wetland.
Filtration,
You can't
brother.
just dump it there.
Right, it has to go
It's
through
all
a
filtration.
process, a filtration process, and that's what the detention pond is for.
So what about all this other property? Can it be like a
You
two-tier
can't,
pond?
you can't encroach, you have to stay so many feet away from the wetlands, is what he was saying. I could,
So we might be able to go closer to the road, but that slopes from the road. Now, I guess maybe that's what we should do, Chief, is ask him to increase the size of that and move it closer to the road.
At what point do they have to be fenced?
I don't know. I know that
There is a point that they have to be
the police department has a county detention pond in its office. It's at the back of the property.
Can that be corrected by raising the elevation?
Perhaps.
Probably.
But it's still got to drain from here to there.
Right, because, I mean, at that elevation here to there now, is, how much is it?
6 or 7 feet.
Instead of digging it out, put a berm around it.
We dig down, we go curve.
I'm sorry, I thought you were going to raise this up. And that had all the
The other one's
stones written all over it.
Yeah, we'll have them explore that.
Believe at this time that there's only one.
You have a dirt parking lot out back behind the dealership where all the employees park. And
There
up
were
there in
multiple
Heights, where it's
phone
snow.
calls from that location.
And every year in the spring, we end up with a lake out there. And they come in with an excavator and they just take one scoop out. And you watch all that water just because the surface gets packed down with cars and material gets broken up really fine and then it clogs the whole surface so the water can't drain. We have to have it graded and it's funny just every
So during our discussion about the pervious parking lots, they were suggesting doing it out of block, a special block. I says, well, we're going to plow it. What's going to happen to the block? Well, it doesn't plow that well. I said, so we could do
frosty.
pervious asphalt or pervious concrete, which you could plow better. I says, okay, that's fine. But now we're going to have to sand it and salt it so that people aren't slipping and killing themselves. And that's going to clog up. He says, yeah, that's why you have to vacuum it and sweep it twice a year. I says, how do you get to hire one of them street cleaning companies to come and do it? It's got to be a better way. Let's make it asphalt and make the detention pond bigger.
Right.
I don't care if you change the shape of it or whatever, but pave it.
So we'll jump to Sanborn Road now. I'm sorry if we jump back and forth. I'm just trying to follow the conversation. So there was a comment that there's going to be a chain link fence, and I think you can see it there in red.
It's in red, yeah.
You see it red right there.
Oh, from the back corner of the building,
Yeah, from the
down the
back
parking lot?
from the fence that's there now across the back of the parking lot.
And that's to isolate this field from the building. Yes.
Why?
Because Tilton's going to develop that with basketball courts, or pickleball, or skateboard park, or something.
So we're not getting that whole
We don't get the
piece of
whole lot.
property?
No, we only get as much as we need.
When did that come?
That's always been.
Yeah, I remember that from the get-go.
So the two black squares,
So you can see the PD's detention pond area is to the right of the black square at the top of the page. That's where the Tilton PD detention pond is.
What is that black square?
That's a possible location of additional detention ponds. Yeah,
You
they
can't
haven't really
read that?
decided.
I'm seeing a black square.
It's printed.
I see the printing there, but I can't read it.
The only, I just know that, I can't read it, don't you?
No, I don't believe it.
There's also like an equipment shed that's on the property that belongs to
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec or the football things?
Actually, that's where we cooked the burgers for that event.
Yeah, you're right up in front.
Main Street,
Yeah.
I
1315.
can't remember who I was talking to. Said that PD was gonna take it over, and I thought it was, said something about who.
1315.
They can move it.
I'm gonna make a comment how was it being moved.
Yeah. So that would be moved at some point.
And I can,
I don't know how big it is, I don't know what,
16 square,
16 square?
about. Nice, no, they should have finished it.
There's something else there in white that I can't see inside. Is that
There's
like
two-
a
there's
snack
two little
shack or
buildings.
something?
One's a snack shack, one's a shed, wasn't it?
There's a shed. If I'm driving in here, the white building is a snack shack, and there's a shed beside it.
Okay, that's what
And
I'm,
there's also a
there's a well there too.
service panel
Oh, electric service panel, yeah. There's a well there too, isn't there?
Yep. Yep, Parks and Rec.
I don't know.
That was a big to-do, and they didn't hook up to the Tilton Northfield Aqueduct company because of the cost, so they had a well.
Yes,
a
yes,
well
yes.
done. They use it when they make the ice skating rink.
Yeah.
You still picture the meeting there.
The next thing that came up was radiant heat in the floors. Whether the entire building, just the apparatus phase would be done, and they gave some pricing, so. And in the apparatus phase, this extends out 10 feet outside to keep it from icing. So for Sanborn Road, the entire building would be 211K. Just the apparatus bay would be 106. Here, the entire would be 332. Just the apparatus bay 101.
At the end of the day, really how much money you saving by putting different heat in the rest of the building. Because you're still gonna have to heat the rest of the building.
Well, you bring up a good point, because the radiant heat in the floor will not air condition in the summer. So you're gonna have to
But cold
put,
water,
We elected not to do radiant in any of the buildings because days like today, where it's 50 degrees in the morning, and the office folks want a little bit of heat, but by the time 11 o'clock rolls around, the air conditioner's running.
And the thing
You heat
about-
up the floor, and now you got the air conditioner trying to cool it, and the floor is still warm.
and the thing about the radiant floor heat is it has to be on all the time in the winter. You can't night setback radiant floor heat.
No, because you let the ground cool and then you got, yeah. But once it reaches a temperature, it's
It
easy to
is nice, though,
maintain.
that the water evaporates off the floor.
so somewhere there's an argument about vehicle
15
conditioning.
Forestry 1.
They deteriorate faster in a building
That's
where there's
heated.
radiant heat in the floor.
Yeah.
As opposed to
It
regular.
activates the salt. Now,
Versus
if you put radiant gas-fired heat, it tends to heat your body.
15 Forestry.
Does
1
not
on
heat the equipment as much as radiant.
There's also ceiling mounted radiant heat.
3 down.
They have it,
Just your gas fire.
yeah.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. It's just a long tube
Long
with a
tube.
burner at the end.
That's what Caterpillar had in the work there.
It's very common in garage space. So, well, let's take a step back, and what's the opinion of the entire building versus just the apparatus bay to start?
My feeling would be only do the apparatus, because you're gonna need air conditioning in all the other space, so you're gonna have forced air, so you might as well have. I don't know.
I would use it anyway.
Okay. What would you use in the office space for hot air?
I think I would use a combination system.
A heat pump,
Heat and
a heat pump, or like a gas-fired burner and an AC coil in a common system?
I guess we can, efficiency and cost.
I think your only option would be like mini splits spread out around the building.
Using a ducted system.
I think a ducted system would work fine. Yeah,
That's what I think.
okay, I agree. So for the office space, we're gonna use gas-fired hot air and air conditioning in the same system. Now, what about the apparatus bay? Radiant gas-fired heat or radiant floor heat?
Well, the things we gotta remember is when you open the doors and you drive out, you take the heat with you, kinda, and when the doors close, you're cold in here, and you're probably gonna need some of these to do makeup, to bring the temperature back up normal to in a short period of time, and then they shut off, and then whatever radiant heat, or you can just use gas-fired unit heaters. We just probably have 4 of them, and that's those apparatus rooms that we have designed.
I think the units that Paul was talking about
The tubes,
have a pretty high
efficiency.
recovery. You're right, you open that door, we all know. You open the door, and this one's open too, guess what? You've gone from 50 degrees to 35.
And
As
then it
fast as
takes
they
2
open.
hours to heat that up.
And then you got all this space to heat. Radiant floor's not gonna heat, because that's slow comps. So, there's a very common name.
14 4 Street there.
I think the recovery on those, once you dump the air out of the building, is pretty quick.
And the
I
thing
think
is,
it may rival them.
and the thing is that
14
the
4
type of
Street 2 and 30.
heat your body, so you feel it long before it heats the truck up.
They must be able to make a recommendation. If we say we don't want the radiant floor heat, what is the most cost effective other heating system? I would think they can tell you that.
If we look at just the apparatus space, it was 106 at Sanborn and 101 here
The radiant.
for the floor, just for the apparatus space. So, on your list of questions, radiant gas or like Reznor unit heaters in the
Are
apparatus
those
space?
called infrared heaters?
Yes, that's
It's a type
exactly
of
what they are.
It is.
The problem with these heaters is you're not replacing any air. So in this room, sitting here right now, there's no air handling happening at all.
But there is throughout the rest of the building, 15% makeup.
And we're talking about these, but if they did some sort of rooftop HVA unit up there that just did heat, it would have that makeup air.
But do you need the makeup air in this area? I guess.
I think you changed the air pretty well when you do.
Code would tell you. They're gonna, when you say you don't want radiant heat, they're gonna say, okay, then this is what we would put in.
Okay.
I'm going through that right now with our HVAC, because like right in the garage, we've got 20 some odd doors around the outside, and the AC unit's blowing in 20% outside air.
Which is
Off the roof when it's
mandated.
95 degrees up
Right.
there. And we're trying to cool it.
So,
We get plenty of air exchange when the doors open.
yeah, you need a minimum of 15% makeup air
Right.
because of the
This
type
room right
of
now does
system.
not get any makeup air,
Right.
the way we heat. So So anyway, they're gonna know that code, they're gonna tell you.
Okay. Next thing is Sanborn Road, 6 doors versus 3.
Ah, so you get some pricing?
No, not yet, still working on it. But one of the issues with removing the doors is we have to put windows in there in order to get this daylight into that area. So just so you're aware, if we pull the doors, we gotta put windows.
What
Just
extent?
to meet code, enough to meet the code. It wouldn't be many large windows, but there'd be some windows. The other thing with the doors on the back, if this passes, when it passes in March,
Thank you.
when it passes in March, we have to have at least one door in the back.
So
And the reason being is all our first response vehicles, so we'll have ambulance, engine, tanker, ladder, whatever else, something else over there. The tanker, we don't want to have to pull the engine out to get the tanker out. So if we have at least one door, if we eliminate all 3 doors, we can't, the most we should eliminate is 2 doors. We need to have one door in the center.
I say eliminate one door. You keep 2 closest to
The building.
the building, and that last bay is a one shot, which, okay, you're gonna store the ladder up in that bay, and then you can put, if you have to, you can put your boat behind it or whatever.
Right, in the winter time, the boat can be back.
Right. But if you
So what you're
keep those
saying-
2 doors and get rid of this,
Is that what you're proposing, is keep 2, get rid of 1?
Yeah,
Or
that's
keep
what I
1,
think.
get rid of 2?
no, keep 2, get rid of 1. So it'd be a 5-bay station. This bay would not be drive-through, but these 2 would be ideally be able to be driven through
And-
if you had to.
What the chief is saying is you need 4 doors?
Minimum of 4. I like Matt's idea, and I agree that other door doesn't really need to be there.
But once again, how much money is it gonna save us?
We haven't gotten those prices yet.
It's gonna be probably peanuts again.
Well,
But I
Yeah,
I really don't think we need, that's
Well, it's
just
not-
my
it's not-
How deep
opinion.
is that?
I'll be, what?
How deep is it?
60.
86 feet 8 inches.
Yeah, outside, yeah.
But it's not just the savings on the door, it's the savings on the maintenance of the door.
Efficiency.
Right. And if maybe if you only eliminate one door, you won't have to put the window in,
So,
because you'll have the other
I want to hear
two.
what you said again. First out pieces, you want a door in front of.
Yes.
And those first out pieces.
Ambulance, engine, ladder, tanker.
Where is it that the tank is going to be first out?
There's a lot of times
It's
it goes
gonna-
out by itself.
All that stuff's, you think about it, all that stuff's gonna have to be, 90% of this stuff's gonna have to be stored up there while they're building this station. Because you're only gonna be able to fit an engine and an ambulance still at Center Street, so.
Right. But no, answering your question, they had a call this week where was it this week? Where the only vehicle that went was the tanker. We were providing water for summer.
That's what we played with.
Right. I mean, I can
That's a delayed response anyway, because you gotta get here to get it.
Right. Well, I can
And
see
what it's
the,
gonna, what's it add to pull that out or an ambulance out, so you can get that?
5 minutes. Maybe. We also use it in town. It goes to like if we get a brush fire or something like that, then we need the tanker to provide water and stuff like that.
I brought that up several meetings ago.
I mean, it's not. Let me screw this up. That engine is primary response, we used to call it primary attack. The tank is never that, is it?
Primary attack, only, it has been because of vehicle breakdowns,
Right.
but it's not designed to
It
be
isn't.
a primary attack. It's,
So it's that
it's,
and that.
it's the primary water source in a lot of places. And if you got a house that's rocking, you can go through 1,000 gallons of water pretty damn quickly. And that's why we don't want to have to be pulling stuff out to get the tank done.
So, Paul, do we need to decide that now, or do we wait
No.
until they provide us some?
No,
Let's get some prices.
All I'm doing is kind of narrating the conversation so you guys know what was discussed.
Efficiency and maintenance is the big thing. How many doors are expensive?
Well, if you park a truck behind another truck, the venting system has to be able to get past each other.
Yes,
18 McClellan Road.
the Plymouth
From the
Bank.
White House Circle to Ellsworth Hill Road, channel for 1852.
In the past 5 years, how many times have these doors required maintenance?
I would say we do, now you gotta figure these doors are from 1986. We'd probably do something to one door every other year, whether it's a spring or a panel got whacked or something like that.
1001, enter Marlboro Station for
We
coverage.
replaced the motors in a couple of these. But again, we're 40 years into this building.
Is there anything relative to type of door?
The type of, whether it's a mechanical, electric,
Overhead,
overhead, or
jack.
Yeah, I remember.
the only ones that I've seen in fire departments, the two types of doors, overhead like this, or the bifold doors. The bifold doors cost a lot more, but they say they'll last longer and less maintenance. They open in 7 seconds.
35 ambulance 1 responding.
I don't.
So the 44-year-old female.
If money wasn't an object, I would do the bifold doors, but money's an object here. We're not a rich community like Laconia that can put bifold doors in.
The jack shaft opener takes stuff off the ceiling.
Yeah, it's mounted on the walls. Yeah, I've seen it Lowell, when I used to go to Lowell to cover, there's a couple of the older stations have that kind as well. I don't know what their maintenance history is on it. It seems like there's more stress on it when they're mounted that way, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, there really isn't, because it's actually the spring that does the work. You just turn it. With this system, you're pulling the door up in the center. With the other system, you're turning the shaft at the spring is loaded.
Yeah.
It's off the ceiling.
I think that's how U-Haul was when we just looked at U-Haul last week.
All companies operating in Multboro.
Never
Switch
thought
to
about
channel 7. All companies operating in Multboro.
Still have to have the tracks.
Yeah, you still have to.
Yeah. And I would recommend the 3-inch tracks, not the 2-inch tracks. 3-inch tracks are
That's,
commercial grade.
yeah, but it has something to do with door size too.
Door size and weight. The fire station in South Tewksbury that I was part of, I was the clerk of the works for that. Somehow they slid by that they put 2-inch tracks in, and we had door problems from day one.
Yeah, you would have big door.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna wait for the guidance on cost on that. And that concludes my notes from the last two meetings. So,
Did they not have any drawing elevations for San
not
Diego?
yet.
No, they want us to decide what the looks are gonna be, and then they'll give us the elevations for some of the aesthetic, I guess.
So, we've got these, the site plan, there it is.
I started reading through and it looks like a lot of white, but
That's
Exactly right.
I think what they're doing is, they're gonna do what they have to do. We don't have any say on this, except for like the permeable parking area versus asphalt.
yeah, and they brought up a few minor things like, you know, moving sheds and,
Oh, this was that email.
yeah.
So, I don't
That's
think
a lot of
there's,
boilerplate.
I don't think there's a lot to
You can
discuss
condense that
there.
down to 3 sentences, that's applicable to us.
Did they really put awful disposal in there?
Yes.
Like, what the hell else would you do?
Well, they'll be doing it. We won't be doing it.
Right, I mean, but
Because they ran into trouble one time, the lawyer said, you gotta put this in there.
That's what it boils down to, lawyers. So what I'd like to do is move on to an email that I got from Lisa today
Oh, okay.
with respect to this, okay? And I'll just read it word for word, so I'm not filtering anything. Hi, Paul, Gordon surgery went well, but I've been up all night and exhausted. I'll premise my comments by saying that stormwater drainage permitting is not my field of expertise. I glanced at Park Street and I have the following thoughts. Are landfill underground tank in Leachfield still an issue? I thought that was taken care of previously.
The underground tank is gone. The leach field is still there.
I recall a horse putting a hoof through.
Yes, it was several old home days ago.
That
After
was the tank, or that
was
was,
the tank.
and that's gone now?
It's gone.
Okay, so the underground tank is gone.
Town sewer here.
Yep.
When was the last time the leach field was used?
When did they
When
put
the
the sewer
three
in?
houses were here, probably.
No, the leach field here, this fire station was on the leach field before it was hooked up to the
Oh,
sewer. Yeah. So
Within the last,
The leach field is still right there.
So that was only 9 months. Can't tell
can't
you.
remember that's the leach field.
I know there are houses here, that's about it.
Okay, number 2. Is a permeable block parking lot necessary? I have concerns about maintenance, plowing, and block durability. Lisa is right on it. Is a gravel parking lot considered permeable under DES regulations? Can we consider gravel instead of paved?
Well, that's an interesting thought. And that's what they're doing up the PD, the site parking.
Right. This gravel. If not, can we pave and use the same stormwater basin being constructed for roof runoff by increasing size? She's spot on, boy, I'm telling you. Or construct a separate one, or reduce parking. Number 3, since we have plenty of excavated fill material, can we use some to build a slope along the east wall to reduce the drop and lessen forces on the retaining wall? This may involve shifting the parking area to the east. So, I'm going to put east, northwest.
North is this way.
Yeah, we don't have a good elevation there, so.
He said in the meeting today that the pervious parking lot is even with a portion of this sidewalk up against the building, because that's why I asked, do we have to walk up a hill from the pervious parking lot to this sidewalk by the building? He says, no, it's at the same elevation.
Those are stairs going into the building. They're gonna move these stairs to go along the building.
Oh, yeah.
So they're
So
talking
over in the
about
front
this
here, it's
one.
probably close, and then the
You
back
can see
slopes away.
stairs built into it.
I guess we need elevation.
I'd also recommend we use as much fill on site or CF fill as desired by Northfield DPW to reduce trucking and disposal costs. Sorry, I won't be available at the time of the meeting. So that's.
When we get to that, we can ask them if they want it.
I think,
I think the reason we're getting rid of it, because it's not good, Bill. Unless they need it for
I
town.
think these questions should be, do you want this?
Yeah, please. Thank you.
So our next meeting with Lorero is next Monday morning. Is there anything you guys want to ask Lorero that we haven't already? Do you mind reading your list of questions, Chief?
Okay, it's not really a list of questions, it's comments. The front entry posts, not a wall. Squared off garage door opening. Research a hose hoist. Is it possible to put a door onto the roof from the hose tower? Chlorine countertops instead of plastic laminate. Explore increasing the size of the detention pond to get rid of the pervious parking. Living office space will be gas-fired, forced hot air, AC, ducted. Then ask about the gas-fired radiant infrared ceiling heating tubes or use with unit heaters for the apparatus rooms.
There was a discussion today about two doors in the tower. Make sure they know we just want the one, please.
I mean, the windows?
Two windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, the training. They're windows, but you can't see through them.
And then the whole discussion about the roof.
Yeah. That's a continue, yeah, okay.
Is there anything, Kevin? Matt?
And I assume when I ask a question about the drawings for Assembly Road, they're working on those?
So what they're gonna do is have the look of Sanborn Road be similar to here. And all of that kind of guided by the PD, because that, I think you made this comment, the select board in Tilton absolutely try to keep the two buildings similar.
Yes.
Two buildings as in the fire stations or the police station?
Police, the Sanborn Road, similar in construction appearance to the police station.
Now, I'd like to share an email that the chief received, as well as myself, from Brian, who's the project manager. And they also copied Joe, who's the architect. Joe has received a high-level budget comparison on asphalt versus metal roofing. Sanborn will be an adder of $114,000. Okay, Park Street and Adder of
45 ambulance, one
266.
response. Channel,
To metal?
That's metal over asphalt.
Yep.
It should be noted that for this analysis, Park Street, they changed the flat EPMD, which is rubber, right? To metal as well. And they have asphalt shingle bidding here and numbers and adders. So for Sanborn Road, asphalt roof is 270 with an adder of 104 for metal. Park Street, asphalt is 350 with an adder of 266. And then there was some other discussion about these doors going in, windows going in the tower. So,
Well, one of them, when you put a metal roof on with all those valves, you're not putting it on to lower the weight on the roof because you're having the snow slide off. You're paying that extra money to have the life of the roof longer.
longevity, because these are all 25-year shingles with, I think,
45 ambulance, one on
20-year
scene, honorable visual.
warranty, which doesn't mean anything. They're gonna say you installed them wrong. So yeah, at the end of the day, the metal roof is all about longevity.
It's the pay me now or pay me later.
The asphalt roof will outlive the bond.
So
For $400,000 bar.
I think we all have the same information now. Is there anything else? Next meeting,
That's Monday, isn't it?
next Monday at 5:30. So that's August 25th. Now, we do not have any meetings after that.
We have some lined up in
You're
September.
very low audio.
Tuesday, September 2nd, the scheduled meeting,
September engine one. And utility.
and
And
Monday, the
cover.
22nd, is scheduled for a meeting. That's what I have in my Outlook, anyways.
And there's a strong
14
possibility
engine one responding, answering
that
35
there'll be
ambulance
some
one.
the week of the 8th or the 15th because that's 3 weeks between them. And we're running out of time. So what I'd like everyone to think about is the public outreach, where we do it, how we do it, what assistance we're going to ask from Lorero because that's
45
part of
ambulance
the
one, advising
contract.
from the staff, a resident on the third floor, hold the alarm.
It won't be certainly before our next meeting, but maybe, if we can get August 25th and September 2nd, we have some elevation and land views and
Like shooting
floor
in for
plans.
driver for 35 ambulance one.
Now, I've talked with the library,
1910.
Thursday evenings, they're open till 8 o'clock. We're welcome any Thursday, except the third Thursday because I have a foundation meeting there. Saturdays, they're open from 10 to 2. Ross Cunningham normally does from 10 to 11 once a month. I've been there to half a dozen of those. It works very well. So think about, and is there some other place besides the library we want to have them? I think the library, from a functional standpoint, will work quite well, and as long as we don't get 20 or 30 people.
Because the room's not big enough.
They have multiple rooms, but it would be difficult for everyone to fit into one. Plus, the library would continue to be open.
14 administrators, fine.
Parking would become an issue too at that point. Let's park across the street at school.
Just Compass is fine as long as it's not during school hours.
We used to meeting in September, I thought we had it, I don't see it.
Second and the
22nd.
22nd.
Have you been multitasking?
This is like the smallest sentence of a kid we had, so it does it on a pretty regular basis.
Any comments about public outreach now?
The commissioners are meeting with the Northfield Board of Selectmen on the 16th of September.
Yes.
And your normal meeting is tonight.
We should probably contact Tilton too.
Yeah. I think that the reason we wanted to talk to Northfield was about these
Right.
So, do you need to have any discussion about land swap or any of that?
I don't think yet.
Not really. I think, like I said, the basic premise of our land swap deal is kind of understood. I think there's something written somewhere. I'd have to go look at it.
Yeah,
And
we
the
sent
town
it
provided
back
it.
for some questions and then, yeah, it sort of fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
The town itself was very supportive.
Okay. What do you think, Matt?
It's time to go home.
I haven't had dinner yet. I don't suppose anybody has.
I'm working.
Are you all set, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm trying to
Add it to his calendar.
use this calendar thing. I've never had it work, but I'm going to try it one more time.
Okay, can we set that aside just for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there anything else you want to discuss? Okay, Kim,
I'm good.
Chief?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay,
That was very helpful. I'm going through that list.
This name, or is among the most informative.
35.1, student estimation.
well, I'm sorry it's so in the weeds, but what I want to make sure is that what I'm hearing, you guys are hearing.
Over,
So-
approve.
Make a motion to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 7:15, Lauren. And our next meeting is August 25th at 5:30 at
Town Hall.
Town Hall. Thank you all.
Hey, I like meeting here better than
You do?
If it's not hot as
Right. No